Good morning, everybody. It's Mike Meyers. I'm starting a little early on purpose today, mainly because I didn't like that terrible stall we had yesterday, and just to make sure everything's okay. So please send me some text in the channel here. Let me know, do I sound okay? Do I look okay? All the usual type of stuff. We've got some really big news today, and I want to make sure that I'm coming through good to make sure everybody understands me. You know how that goes, kids. All right, so I'm just seeing if somebody's going to text in here and say I'm sounding good. And again, I'm a couple minutes early here on purpose because yesterday was very irritating to me that we were a little late. And then I got big news today, guys. So this is pretty exciting, and I don't want anything to blow up. Sith Lord. We're going to stall here for just a minute more. I want to make sure. I think we're coming off pretty. Thanks, Paul. Oh. Yeah, sorry I was so yawny yesterday. I had like 2 hours sleep last night. This coronavirus thing is just sitting around. I mean, I can always work. All I can do is work. I've cleaned everything twice, so I could keep working. Scott Jernigan would love that. So we're going to have an official destruction of the potato cam this Thursday when my new camera comes in. It's hilarious that you guys try to get online, and I mean, seriously, go on like Amazon.com or Best Buy or Walmart or anything, and just try to buy a webcam that isn't super price gouged out the you-know-what. The answer is you can't. And so I bought one that wasn't horrifically overpriced. So hopefully we'll be in good shape here shortly, and I can throw away that potato camera. Actually, I'm not going to throw it away. It really does have a place. It works great on my desktop system upstairs if somebody wants to have a headshot of me, like if I'm on Zoom or whatever it might be. But other than that, it's a complete pain in the rear end. All right, let's go ahead and get this started. I hope this works. All right, you guys ready? Hello. So first of all, CompTIA made the big announcement today, this morning at 10 a.m. Central Time about their online testing. So it was a very interesting presentation. In fact, CompTIA was nice enough to let us use parts of their presentation, and I'm going to show it to you right now. So, you guys interested in seeing how CompTIA is going to work? Well, watch this, and here's how online testing is going to take place. First of all, and here's the most important point, is that, there we go. So online testing is going to be starting tomorrow. So the way CompTIA is making it sound, it almost comes off like you can, hang on. It almost comes off like you can pretty much sign up, and maybe after an initial surge, you should be able to take your testing fairly quickly if you want. So the website is, I'll show you the website here in just a minute. But the bottom line is, you guys ready? You're going to need a computer. There's going to be some specifications. What's interesting is that you can't use, it looks like you cannot use the built-in camera in a laptop and things like that. You're going to have a old school web camera that plugs in the USB, and it's because they want you to be able to turn the camera so they can look around the room, kind of a thing. So that's going to be interesting. So that's the first one. So can you guys, can we see this? So online testing overview launching April 15th. Everybody see that? Okay, so number one, you can test anywhere, obviously. Testing can be conducted 24/7, which is interesting. So I guess they'll find you a proctor if you want to take it at 3 in the morning. You can, and doesn't seem to be a problem with that. So you can sign up anytime you want. You can schedule any time of day you want. That sounds pretty exciting. The tool set is called the Pearson OnView. Looks to be a pretty robust tool set. I was playing with it a little bit after the meeting today. And we'll go through some of the details here. Let me show you what it's all about. All right. So as of right now, all the CompTIA certifications are available except for Server Plus, CTT Plus, and there is no site licenses thing to this. All right, it's just going to be an individualized basis kind of a thing. Exams are not available. There's another. So if you live in Cuba, Iran, North Korea, Sudan, Syria, Japan, interestingly enough, Slovenia, China, and South Korea, although CompTIA is working very hard on all of these. So if you are dialing in from far away, and it's one of those countries, we'll get to you. Exams are offered like they always are in all the different languages they have. The test platform itself, though, the UI is only in English. So once the test starts, you'll be in good shape. But until then, the UI itself is going to be in English. All right, so the basic process here is that you're going to have to download a little piece of software. It's going to test your system. You need to have, interestingly enough, you have to have a microphone. Okay, I guess, so you could talk to them. Obviously, you have to have a camera, and you have to have a pretty good internet connection. So this is the process they want you to go through to verify. So number one, you got to go through, review the testing policies and procedures, okay? Then you run a system test, which is a little tiny download that you run. Then you create a Pearson VUE testing account. Now, I don't know if this is if you can use an existing account. A lot of us have taken tests before, or just create a new one. Number 4, you schedule the exam. And then number 5, take the exam. So pretty straightforward. So let's go ahead and go through this process a little bit more. Okay. So number 1, the policies. So you start at the online testing webpage, and you have to sign a candidate agreement, and you have to have a reliable device, you have a strong internet connection. The exam workplace, Scott Jernigan just told me that a built-in webcam is okay. All right, thanks, Scott. I thought I was hearing something that the built-in webcams were not okay. Thank you for correcting that for me. It has to be a quiet space, a walled room, closed door, no visitors, and a consent to audio and video monitoring. So you can just use whatever space you have, but they want somebody to be able, they're going to be watching you, and they're going to be listening. I just want to make sure there's nobody's whispering in your ear, that it's not a noisy environment. You get the basic idea. So you run this little system test. It'll run on Windows 8.1 and Windows 10. It runs on Mac 10.13 and above. So you Mac guys, this is actually kind of cool. I know Macs a lot of times, especially on the CompTIA stuff, gets a little bit ignored, even my stuff to some extent, but you'll be able to run it on Mac, which is cool. They want to watch out about what type of firewalling you have. So we didn't see anything particularly noteworthy. It'll run behind a NAT just fine, for example. It's going to be, we don't have a listing of port numbers or anything at this point that it's going to be blocked or not blocked. It didn't look complicated. So a standard NATed home router system should be very easy to use on this. Minimum resolution is 1024 by 768 in 16-bit color, which is hilarious. And here's a tough one. Additional monitors are forbidden. I don't know about you guys, but I live in a multi-monitor world, so this one small thing is going to be a minor irritation for me to have to go back and unplug a secondary monitor or something like that. I'm not even quite sure what detection tools it would have for something like that, but once you have something running on your system, it can do anything at once for the most part. So now the other thing I want you guys to understand is that this OnView product, this may be new to CompTIA, but it's not new to VUE Prometric. They've been doing stuff, for example, Microsoft testing on this for a while. It seems to be real robust, seems to be well proven, and it seems to be pretty much great. The other thing that's important is that the thing you're running on your computer is going to fire up its own secure browser. So once that browser comes up, you're really just running in a web browser. Okay. And so this browser is going to be doing a number of things. Keep in mind, for example, it's going to lock down your system. So once you start this thing up and you start a test, you're not going to be able to get off of it until you take the test. I mean, if you think about this, these make good sense. I think this is a good system. I didn't get to take a test. I wanted to take an actual test, but I didn't get to take a test, but I did get to play with the interface, and it seemed to work really, really well. So I'm happy thus far. All right, so next thing I want to talk about here is, all right, so they want a 1 megabit up down. So for here, us in the States, that shouldn't be too big of a problem. Webcam has to be a 640 by 480. Sound and microphone, so you don't want those to be muted. Internet cookies must be enabled. Any anti-pop-up blocking settings must be disabled, which is kind of a hassle for people like me who use a lot of toys like that. Device. All tablets are strictly forbidden unless it has a physical keyboard. So that's going to be something you're going to have to be careful about. And don't let the battery die while you're running. All right, so basically, this is the important thing. When you prepare for the test environment, you're going to need a quiet location, and they're going to look, okay? You got to be careful here, because this is what can get people potentially in trouble with this thing. They're going to be able, before you do anything, you can run the hardware and you can test it, make sure, do you have enough internet speed? Do you have a good mic? Is your camera working fine? That stuff's okay. But you could potentially run into a problem where on the day of your exam and suddenly you want to light this up in a bowling alley and the person who's now proctoring looks around, that could be a problem. So you really do want to think about, the closed door. So think about an office, some type of quiet place, and you don't want to surprise them the day of the test for that. So let's keep marching on. So, if you read right, no, not within arm reach of notepads, sticky notes, papers, pens, pencils, other requirements, writing utensils and objects. Additional monitors and computers must be unplugged and turned off. Items on the wall with writing will be inspected. They're going to make you turn the camera and show it to you. Then you're going to present identification. Present identification and show the proctor the exam environment upon exam day check-in. So Scott Jernigan's telling me that there's some methodology where you can test the testing room ahead of time. I didn't see that. That could be a big issue, so I'm a little bit concerned about that. Well, I'm sure it'll work out. Be smart. Be conservative in how you're going to decide to go for this. In terms of having testing materials on you, I didn't see anything on, I'm sorry, not testing materials, like a pencil and a notepad. I didn't see anything about that. I'm sure they're going to let you do something. Okay, so then you schedule the exam, and then you take it. So, you can have a complete time difference in here. You don't have to, you don't have to take it that day if you don't want. I could see where if they really did have the ability to respond like that, where a lot of people would be like, yeah, let's just go take it. I wouldn't do that early on. Let's get this system working out the way, make sure all the bugs are worked out, make sure it's working properly first, and then we can come in. Because I'm one of those people, back in the old days, I'd, get a ticket and just, I would just get an airplane ticket and fly. Hang on, Scott's talking to me. All right, good. Thank you, Scott. And I'd get an airplane ticket and just 10 minutes before the flight took off. You can't do that anymore. But it could be that type of situation. Scott's letting me know, man, I'm glad Scott paid more attention than I did. There's going to be an online whiteboard. I'm not quite sure how that's going to work. Maybe with my touch screen that might have some palatability, but are they just going to give me a text screen or something? We'll see. We'll find out, and we'll check it out. I guarantee you that somebody from Total Seminars will be taking some kind of CompTIA test I'm going to try to take one tomorrow, and we'll check in one more time, talk about the interface, how it works, that type of thing. Obviously, I don't think I'm going to be able to show you anything, but we'll make sure we give you a good idea of how it's going to look and feel. And I'll call my buddies over at CompTIA and see if I can show some interface. We'll see what they'll let me get away with. All right. All right, back to, here we go. All right. All right, so then you take the exam. Okay, so first of all, you might want to sketch this down. This is the absolute URL for the testing website, okay? And I'm pretty sure that you can just go ahead, you don't even have to schedule an exam if you want to just download the hardware testing and stuff like that to verify that it works well. And but it, it seems to be in pretty good shape. I'm going to leave this up here, and that way, if you guys you either write it down right now, or if you want to come back later to the Total Seminars channel, we'll leave that up here for you. And yeah, so it should be it. All right, and I think that's it. So that is the basic gist of the CompTIA online testing. I'm personally very excited about this. Can't wait to take a test tomorrow. I'll probably take, I don't know, something. Don't know yet. I'll come up with something to take. Linux Plus or something. And we'll report back tomorrow, let you guys know how it went. So it should be really, really cool. Or maybe I'll just let you know I couldn't get in because everybody and their dog's trying to get in. Now, the other thing I want to stress about online testing is that does not negate the site testing. So the traditional view site test where you go to a view testing center, that's all still going to be there. That's not going away. I'm not aware if there's any difference in pricing. I'm not quite sure how vouchers are going to work with this. I think they're going to work the same, but we'll find out together, and we'll get some more details on that. And I'm probably going to do like more of a sticky official presentation on this so that everybody can get to this, not just through the AMA folks like we're doing here. So, pretty cool, huh? Anyway, so with that in mind, that is all the stuff we have thus far on the online testing. So I'm going to get back here. So Scott says vouchers work perfectly for online testing. Yay, glad to see that. All right, I'm going to scroll up and let's see what kind of questions we have here. I'm starting right at the top. Raphael Pruitt, can I ask? Yeah, start asking questions. If you haven't already, we're already 15 minutes into our hour, huh? Oh, the usual suspects are here. Sith Lord, what book should I be using for a study guide for Security Plus exam? I'd recommend the Mike Meyers, Scott Jernigan Security Plus book from McGraw-Hill. Is Scott Jernigan saying I'm beautiful? Oh, I am beautiful. I am. All right, this is all from me. Oh, so Rafi, so I'm from Africa. You're from Liberia. Wow. How do you schedule the exams? Raphael, you need to go to www.comptia.org. And you can look for a testing center there. You can try the online. Again, the online is brand new. It's not even going to start till tomorrow. Liberia was not one of the countries where it said it will not work, so I'm assuming it will work fine in Liberia. You're going to have to give this a try. You saw the URL that we had put in earlier. You're going to have to make sure you have an internet connection and a computer to meet those requirements, and you might be able to take it from the comfort of your living room. So good stuff there. Hey, Professor Krager, he's here. Good. All right. Yeah, big news equals good news. I'm hoping though. Hi, Mike. Ernie Casillas. There he is. Ernie, did you try calling my office? We're going to have to try to get that squared away. I'm going to give you my personal cell phone number. Don't dare put it on here, because, some of these dangerous people like Diego Medina might be a problem. Okay, Tulawit. Man, everybody's here. TS. Hey, Mike, are you still wanting to do a privacy-focused webinar for PCs and phones? What I was talking about two things we might be wanting to do, and one of them I definitely want to do is an anti-malware across the board. And I would certainly put that on Androids as well, because anti-malware is important on Androids. I remember we had kind of talked about privacy a little bit, just by us talking. I guarantee you Scott Jernigan is taking some notation here. I think what I was talking about is how I lock down my web browsers. And in particular, because I'm a big Firefox user, what are some of the tools I use to really lock down a browser? And yeah, we can definitely do that. In fact, now that you've brought it up again, so it's not a whole what is privacy thing. That, don't use Google. But yeah, we could do locking down your browser better. That could be something. If I failed the exam, do I have to repay the $350? $350 is more money. You shouldn't be paying that much. You should be paying about half that. But yeah. I mean, any exam, any certification exam, if you fail it, you got to pay the money again. So I know that's a big issue for a lot of folks. You just have to, make sure you pass the first time with great study materials from Mike Meyers at Total Seminars. Yeah. Yeah, Andrew, your brother has an old school webcam. I got to tell you, Andrew, you were around yesterday here for the potato. This is, yeah, it's a piece of junk. I was really disappointed with that thing yesterday. Or maybe I'm just getting spoiled by better. I mean, this thing's not that old. It's like 4 years old. It's a 720 instead of a 1080, and get a good webcam, man. Who found the internet? The kings of the internet? No. See, the internet is a little box that they store up in Big Ben in London. Yeah. And it doesn't weigh anything. So, yeah. And, yeah, it's the lords of the internet, not the kings of the internet. Good. If you guys haven't watched the IT Crowd, you need to watch the entire series. It's all on YouTube someplace. This gen is the internet. Oh, Luigi is the winner. Hello, Mike, and the stream. Yeah, Steam. Yeah, I want a game. I'm trying to get in the IT field and eventually into cybersecurity. I came across my computer career training program that certificates you in 8 CompTIA certs, which include... Yeah, I'm not against my computer career. I'm better. But, you can use my computer career if you want. They're asking $22,000, is that dollars American, for the whole 7-month course? That seems awfully expensive. Look, basically there's 2 ways to pursue a certification. Either you do it with your own study materials on your own time, or you go through some kind of school. To me, those are the 2 choices. I'm not against going to a school. Schools in general are going to cost you a lot more than studying on your own. But schools can often provide, like for example, a good AA degree here in the United States has great value in and of itself. The reputation of the school, does it provide more than just certification? Are there other skills that come along with it? English and, a more university type degree. I mean, these are good things. Job placement. Does the school provide job placement? Now, if you put these things together, then it can often be well worth your while to go through a formal school program. There's a lot of amazing schools out there with amazing programs, and but those would be the questions you have to answer. If the school or / program or whatever, I don't believe my computer career is that expensive. But anyway, if it all boils down to they're just giving you the training, I don't know. Maybe if you liked formal training with an instructor and all that, maybe that would rationalize the expense. But for me, if I'm going for a certification, I'm going to study on my own. I'm the type. I made these training materials for A+ Net+ security classes because they're the stuff I want. I like having a video. I like having a book, and I like having practice questions. In terms of hardware and stuff to play with, I usually do a lot of dumpster diving and grabbing old stuff that people have in their garages and whatever you might want to do. And that's going to be a lot cheaper than something like that. That seems very, very, if you're talking American dollars, Luigi, that seems very expensive in my opinion. Yeah. Yeah, okay, I think we got some answer there. There's my buddy Brandon. Here's the usual daily scroll problem. Here we go. Okay. Can I take the test at any time or need to schedule it? Homer, you sign up and then you schedule a time. I'm under the impression that once it gets to steady state, that you might be able to just schedule the exam for, I'm going to speculate here, 30 minutes from now. I don't know that. We'll see. I think I'll bet you a nickel, it's going to have to do with the number of proctors that they can keep online at any given moment. Driving test for manual transmissions. CompTIA, there you go. Thanks, Brennan. Okay. E3 Born Alpha. Yeah, dude, that's what we've been talking about since 2 o'clock. It's all about the online testing. So we had, CompTIA gave a little presentation this morning. They let us borrow some of their PowerPoint slides, which I've presented. You can always scroll back on here and rewatch this yourself. Tomorrow morning, as soon as it goes live, we at Total Seminars, we're all going to try to get some test, and we'll report back what the experience is like. Tahir Jalid, why is RJ45 numbered 45? Well, 44 had been used. I don't know. RJ, I mean, this stuff dates back like to the 70s. So I don't know. And nor would you ever be quizzed on that. No one would ever challenge you. And I actually do like historical things like that. You know, for example, the phone connector is called an RJ11. I don't think there's any technical specification that requires that. Anthony Sassini, will this continue after social distancing? I guarantee it. I think that, yeah, I have no guarantee it will, but I have every confidence that it will. Yeah, the test file was pretty big, Professor Krager. I definitely, but again, I hate to keep boasting about this, but I've got bidirectional gigabit coming into my house, so for me, that's like click. TS, hey Mike, if I send you an email asking for some career advice, if you have time. Absolutely. Honestly, TS, I'm going to ask you back, can I talk about your career advice online? I'll tell you what. So I'm going to write down my email address. This is my Total Sem account. And actually, I'm going to ask Scott to type that in for me. And send me an email anytime. You know, my email address is in every book I write. It's the beginning and end of every video I do. So it's nothing top secret. And I'm always glad to talk to folks. So absolutely. Dominic Gomez from Dallas. Where in Dallas, dude? Oh, look, even Brandon's asking the same question. Yes, Andrew, if you're hitting 87, again, Andrew, I think you asked me this question last week, and I want to stress this back to you. I get paranoid when people start taking, especially the same practice questions over and over and over again, and you start locking in. You'll see that question, you go, oh, the answer is B. Don't do that, okay? Just because you've managed to memorize one chunk of practice questions, that can be very dangerous on the day of the actual exam, because you'll see a question that you think you recognize, you think you'll know what the answer is, and you won't. Especially with my practice questions, because I do a lot of practice questions where they're very close to a known A plus or Net Plus or Security Plus question, but it's not. I'm not going to copy CompTIA questions, okay? But I get really close. So that's fine. Those are good percentages to have, you're probably more than ready for A+. But please, 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 when you take the real exam, read the, sorry, I'm reading Diego Medina there. Read the questions and make sure you're not just assuming something. Oh, he's in Frisco. At least he's not in Plano. Pizayan, I watched the entire series of IT Crowd 3 times already. Dude, you haven't even started. I think, honestly, 10 times, every episode 10 times. Debbie Strouch, hi, I just bought your A+ book and love it. I took your advice to make my own questions. Good for you, Deb. Is Deb okay or is it Debbie? It's always, Deborah is one of those names like Mike or Michael. You know, everybody has their own thing. So, yeah, for me, it's, somebody asked me, so do I call you Mike or Michael? And I go, well, everybody calls me Mike unless you meet 2 criteria. Number 1, you got to be a gal. And number 2, you got to kiss me. So my mom called me Michael. My sisters call me Michael. Girlfriend calls me Michael. But pretty much everybody else calls me Mike, okay? And I did that once. I was at Hobby Airport in Houston at the Southwest Terminal. And there's this gal, you know, doing my ticket, taking my bags. And she goes, oh, is it Mike or Michael? So I gave her the little shtick. And the lady's like, well, I'm going to fix that. And she jumps out in front of the counter, kisses me on the cheek, and she goes, I'm going to call you Michael. I was like, you may call me Michael. So I don't know if it's Deb or Debbie, or I'm going to go with Debbie because that's what you got there. I'm getting my CCA in next year. Good for you. CCNA is a great one. Thanks for these webinars. Yeah, these have been working out pretty well. I mean, we got a good small crowd, but I got to be honest with you, I don't know if I could handle too much of a bigger crowd, so I'm pretty happy. And I think we've got some really great advice coming through here. And so tell your friends. And also, Debbie, keep in mind, so it looks like right now we're going to be forming up, so Mondays are going to be more of a topic. So like yesterday we did cool tools for smartphones. I don't know what I'm going to do. I guess I better make an announcement tomorrow. Got to pick a topic. It's almost certainly going to be anti-malware. And then Fridays will be giveaways. We give away something every day. So do keep in mind, yes, that's right. Just because you folks are nice enough to be here, everything on the Total Seminars Hub, as we call it, is 50% off. So if you just look below here and go to that link at totalsem.com and type in this code, and so the one that starts with MM Live, and you type in this code, and everything across the board is 50% off. And if you guys have come from last week and you go, oh, I know that code, no, you don't, because we're going to be changing that code a lot. And just because you knew the code before, and you now decide you want to buy something, you want half off, so make sure that you look at whatever the current code is, and we'll type that in. Also, keep in mind is that if you are an instructor, and you are teaching an active CompTIA course right now, A+, Net+, Security Plus in particular, although we have a lot more than that, we at Total Seminars are giving it away. Then this is for the duration of the coronavirus, which we will arbitrarily choose when it's over, but I don't think it's going to happen for a while. So this is for the Total Sims, and now keep in mind, so the 50% off is just for the practice questions and the simulations. That's it, all right? But for you instructors, you can get anything. In fact, instructors, if you are willing to jump through some hoops in certain circumstances, we can even get you free ebooks through McGraw-Hill. It's you're going to have to contact Kathy Yale. Here's her email. Scott will write that down for you. And you can contact her directly for details. So the ebooks are a little tough to do, but certainly us helping you out is a great thing. Man, I got to tell you, even like Debbie, when you were talking about going for CCNA, you know, there are so many, we're one of many training companies out there, and there are CCNA training companies and folks out there who also have extremely generous deals because of coronavirus. I would be taking a look at Cyberry. I'd look at, well, not so much CompTIA. No offense, CompTIA makes a good test, but they make terrible training materials. That's just, it's not my, it's my opinion because I've read them and they stink. But there are a lot of, any training company that you've been using up to this point, you should check them out and see what they're giving away, because it's like Christmas time for training materials right now. Terrence Stevens, do you think going to graduate school for cybersecurity is worth it? Yeah, you got to keep in mind, Terrence, cybersecurity is a massive topic. I mean, are you going to be going around tightening down routers? Are you going to be a wireless security expert? Are you going to be a chief information security officer? Are you going to be going for your CISSP? The answer is you have to decide where you want to be within the world of IT security, cybersecurity. You know, I mean, if you want to join Space Force or whatever it is, yeah, everybody, there's going to be a lot of people who need master's degrees in this industry. You're not going to be the people with the screwdrivers. You're going to be the people at the conference tables and with papers in front of you, but you'll get paid more. Learn more about cybersecurity, and then you need to ask me that question again once you have a little bit more comfort. So do I think it's worth it? I absolutely do, for those who are looking to pursue certain aspects of cybersecurity where master's degrees would be very much appreciated. Yeah. So that was an American dollar. Tricky. Sorry, guys, the usual scroll hassle. Looks like Scott's handled Vimal Lab's question. IT crowds now on Netflix, outstanding. Debbie, I'm going through community college. I have my MBA, but an MBA is worthless? Trades are the way to go. Learn the hard way. Mike, would you mind doing a deep dive one day into PKI certificates for internal usage? Sure. I can go way down in the gators on PKI. I've got, if you watch my Security Plus, Network Plus to some extent, but Security Plus is really where it's at, where I really have a deep dive into certificates. Certainly beyond, in my opinion, where Security Plus goes. But yes, Scott Jernigan, please write that down as another potential topicality we could do a deep dive on. Yeah, but we could do that. Giles Sosa back again. Earlier today, I was in Windows chatting with a neighbor, and he has the CompTIA A+ Complete Practice Test, 2nd edition by Jeff T. Parker. It's a paper book, and I have it in a bag here. It's a good source. If you can't say, I don't know. I'm not going to say anything. Yeah, that's right. You probably, Joe, you probably don't want to grab that book, right? Because you'd probably buy a nice new fresh book from Amazon with a title like, I don't know, Mike Meyers. Okay, Ernie. Yeah, I'm going to get you fixed, dude. I got some information that you had tried to contact me. We're going to try again. Yes, Luigi, that's $22,000 is ridiculous. I'm sorry. I know lots of good technical schools in Florida that, charge 1/10 that. And that's if you want to go to a class. Okay. Alan Duggan? I always get in trouble with those. I failed the Security Plus, I'm sorry, man, a couple of weeks ago because there were simulation questions that were not in the brain dumps or other sites to study. Okay, well, first of all, brain dumps aren't study materials. In fact, to me, the only way I could rationalize anybody using brain dumps is to look at them as potential, practice questions, but not to be, brain dumps are terrible. We've done studies at Total Seminars. For example, we'll do our own practice questions and bring in students, and then we'd go to the students and say, write down the 3 questions that bother you the most. In fact, we even would set it up, students go, look, the most important thing for you to do is find 3 questions that you don't like. And then after the test is done, this is using our own practice materials, and then write them down. Nobody could even get close. Nobody could even get close to the reality of what was on there. I don't believe in them. I don't trust them. They don't work. Look, learn your topic, and then you don't have to worry about brain dumps. I know about the Security Plus simulations you're talking about. Some of those can be quite challenging. The trick is you're going to have to just learn your topics. So the other thing I'd recommend is, use my study materials. I work really hard. Oh, Mr. Barbie, my troublemaker. Is Professor Messer a professor? I believe he is, yes, but I don't know. Debbie it is. Okay, Debbie, come back, man. Great. From now on, you're Debbie. Everybody likes anti-malware. We're going to definitely do that. So TS, you have a BS in computer science and having trouble. A lot of times when people start telling me stuff like that, I'm going to start asking, do you interview well? I mean, do you have to live in, some little town in Florida and you can't move? Are you demanding to work 6 hours a week? There's a lot of other things that come in. TS, you got my email address. Definitely send me an email and we will talk. So Skillsoft is free. That could be interesting. Homer, please explain the Johnny Tables joke. Which one's that? Scott Jernigan, do you remember a Johnny Tables joke? I forget. I tell so many jokes. Leo exclamation point. For a beginner, how long should I study for the CompTIA A+ before taking the exam? Roughly 120 hours. I know I actually put it a little bit shorter than that in my book, but I'm getting more conservative in my old age. So the trick is that you're going to have to, start with 120 hours. As a matter of fact, hang on, I'm going to pull up. Yeah, this'll work. It's an older edition, but it'll still get us there. I think I used to put as low as 40 hours in. All right, bear with me. So this is the introduction chapter in my book. How to pass the A+ exams, okay? So, the biggest thing is, and I really need to stress this, and even with the online testing, this might create complications, and that is, you need to obligate yourself. You need to say, I am going to take this test, all right? You obligate yourself by, number one, putting the money down to pay for the exams. And for the A+, I always believe in taking both exams at once. You take one, then you take the second one. So number one, you're going to obligate yourself. Number one, you set aside the proper amount of time. All right, this is an old book where I had some of the shorter amount of hours. So yeah, I mean this is so you could be up to 200 hours for some people, and somebody who's really experienced and just needs to practice questions really, maybe only 40 hours. So I have this wonderful table. This is an older version. I grabbed what was ever handy, and it really helps you kind of figure this stuff out in terms of the amount of time you're going to take. This is the other reason why a lot of people like going to schools, is because the schools are going to make you study for 2 semesters or something like that. Oh, little Johnny Tables. I forgot that one. Yes. Thank you for reminding me, guys. So what you're going to do is you then go out and you're going to schedule the exam based on your anticipated study time. So let's say you need 200 hours, but you can only study 10 hours a week. Well, that means you're going to need 20 weeks, assuming you don't go on vacation or anything like that. And you're going to have some discipline behind that. Again, an argument for why a lot of people like to go to schools is because they will provide that discipline to you. If you're self-study, if you don't obligate yourself, you're going to be like, I hear all these people, Mike, I bought the 901, 902, and now I hear there's a 1001, 1002. Well, yeah, because you bought the 901, 902 and you didn't get off the stick and study and take the doggone exam. I can't tell you how many times I hear people say that. It's like, do it. Heat and pressure makes diamonds, baby, you know? So light it up and obligate yourself, figure out the amount of study time you need, and then study. For me, studying usually consists of 3 major areas. Number 1, I like to have a book. Number 2, I like to have videos. And then number 3, I like to have some practical aspect. Like if we're talking about hard drives, then I'd like to be able to snap in some hard drives. And I see people on Craigslist, activity partners, who are legitimately studying for certification, who are looking for people to study with in every town in the U.S. certainly. So, and having somebody else to work with could also be a good way, and also a way to pool resources. And so between those 3 things, that's where I'm going to study. And then I'm going to manifest and test my study through practice questions. We are Total Seminars is one of many, many people who sell test questions. I think mine are vastly superior. If you wanted to pick another person to pick from, it'd probably be Transcender, which is a competitor of mine. I like their stuff very, very much. And then you practice with the practice questions. And then as you do, how well you do on your practice questions determines, do you review the video some more? Maybe you want to read a little more. You know, you go back and you go through. Once you've covered all the training materials, then you're going to be in a position where you have to actually study for the exam. And like if you use my practice questions and I go, oh, let's take a 1001 test. Let's take a 1002 test. Let's take a combined test. However you want to do that. Or you can sit here and say, I want to take a test. My books read very nicely. You start at chapter 1. You don't have to jump around much. So you want to take a practice. You're halfway through the book. And I want to do chapter 1 through, chapter 13, say, or something like that. So that's why I developed my practice questions the way they are, because it's how I study. And once you've gone through that, and then you get her done, and hopefully as your date approaches, you're getting good percentages, and if you're not, you study harder than 10 hours a week, and next thing you know, ta-da, you're ready for the exam. And you take the exam, and you live happily ever after. Tahir Jalad, how do I calculate a power supply wattage? It's not explained in your A+ book. Well, there's a reason for that, and that's because calculating power supply wattage is a fool's errand at best. You can run almost any standard ATX motherboard with an unclocked CPU, unoverclocked CPU with RAM for 250 watts without even trying. Where we start running into trouble is really it's the mass storage, cooling systems, graphics cards, and that type of thing. There are a gazillion different ones out there. Just get on Google and type in power supply calculator. You're not going to be challenged on the CompTIA A+. You're going to have this type of system. Well, what type of power supply wattage do you need? That's not going to happen on the exams. It's going to expect you to understand the benefits of more power. It's going to expect you to know things like if you add graphics cards, you're going to need more power, that type of thing. But there's no calculations in there. I intentionally avoid that because you'll never find 2 people who exactly agree. Anthony Sassini, what do you think about CertMaster? I'm not a fan. That's the CompTIA one, right? Yeah. I don't think that CompTIA should be writing training materials. It almost catches me as a conflict of interest. Either you provide the testing or you provide training. But to do both, and there's other people who do it, the Certified Ethical Hacker, that LPI or whatever they are, they do that too. I find it borderline unethical. That's my opinion. Thank you, sir. Escape character. Okay, Little Johnny dropped it. Oh, that is that NKVD, famous cartoons. Yes, I remember it now. Little Johnny drop tables. Yeah, well, I don't think Tolowood, I don't think learning COBOL is going to last very long. Elton Makombe, is watching your videos enough? Yes, it's enough. The videos provide the information you need. But as I was just saying earlier, I don't want to just have one thing, you know. When you start saying stuff to me like, well, I just want to pass the test. My first question to you is, well, do you like technology? And if you're somebody who's like, I just want to pass the A+ to get a job, I want to know, well, do you like computers? I mean, I love this stuff. This is my idea of a red hot Saturday night is, you know, breaking open a laptop to figure out how to, you know, put an extra M.2 drive in it or something like that. And IT is too hard and too changing to not have passion for this industry. If you don't love it, then don't come at me and say, oh, how do I pass the A+? You're setting yourself up for failure there. Look, one of the great things about living on this big, beautiful blue ball called the Earth with almost 8 billion people on it is that there's so many careers and so many opportunities and so many things. Find something that gives you passion. Number one, I don't care what you do. If you have a passion about it, you'll be successful. You'll wake up with a big smile every morning, getting excited to go to work. I see way too many people out there who live in drudgery of their lives. And I've been blessed that I've never had to be that type of person. And it doesn't make sense to me that anybody should be that. If you're in a position where you're retraining for a new career, this is your opportunity to seek your passion. Okay, maybe, you know, being a musician can be a little tough. But, you know, even the people I know who are musicians, you know, they love what they do. Maybe they don't make a ton of money, but they do have passion. And find passion, man. Always find passion. It's the most important thing I can ever teach anybody. So, Debbie, you're taking your CCNA through Dallas County Community College. That's cool. Yeah. American community colleges are just amazing places for certification. I don't know that particular school, but man, I'll tell you, one thing I'd be asking them is job placement. What do you guys do to help with job placement? I am studying CompTIA A+ Core 1 and after Core 2. Bad idea? Yeah, I think it's a bad idea. It's not a terrible idea. I mean, for decades, the 2 A+ exams had so much overlap that it would be a terrible idea. But I will say now that they're doing a better job with it in separating the exams, but you still need to understand a lot of stuff like the 1001, which is more the hardware-ish. I hate using that term. It's the hardware definitional, while the 1002 is the more situational operating system kind of thing. Not understanding all of the topics could get you in trouble with either one of the tests. So yeah, I'm still a believer, and you just study for the whole thing. Tech Newbie 5, taking your advice. I have been preparing for the A+, but also have been resume out in the area. Good man, good man. Applied for a job with my state, entry-level contract job to get some hands-on experience. Tech Newbie, did you get the job? Yes or no? Yeah, you know. Kirk, Picard, Cisco, or Janeway? Kirk. Picard's a close second. I don't know. I never watched the other ones enough to warrant it. I'm surprised you didn't put, what's his name in under Enterprise. Tahir Jalid. How can I get your A+ hardcover? It is not available in my country. Don't know, man. You know, like a lot of times for us to ship overseas, the price of us shipping a book is sometimes 3 to 4 times the price of the book. It's like, holy smokes. Sorry. Yeah. Okay, Tolowit, PC Part Picker has a decent power supply calculator. Okay, yeah, there's a lot of good ones out there. Gino, we got 2 COBOL heads here. This is terrifying. I was a Fortran 77 guy myself. Diego Medina, I found that making a Kahoot quiz for my class helped me dig deeper on topics. I don't know what Kahoot is. I need a pen and paper here. You guys always bring up some great stuff, and I need to do my own research on that. Good, Tech Newbie. I'm glad to hear you say you agree with me. Man, everything. There we go. Da-ba-da-da. New Kirk or original Kirk? Scott, you asking me the original Kirk? Come on. Because he couldn't remember his lungs. Oh, he interviews today. Okay, well, good luck, man. Yeah, this is a tough time for folks. More unemployment today than in the history of the United States, and it's a very challenging time. Shiva Kendall, when can we schedule remote A+ exam? Hopefully tomorrow. It looks like it'll be 8 a.m. Central Time here in the U.S. Shiva, you missed a lot of talk. CompTIA did a big presentation on this today, and they were nice enough to let us borrow some of their PowerPoint presentations, and you missed all the exciting stuff, dude. But I'll tell you what, Shiva, come back tomorrow at 2 o'clock Central Daylight Time, and Central, I got it right. And we at CompTIA, we at Total Seminars, we're going to try to get on the moment this opens up and give the guys a chance. So basically, the online testing is going to start tomorrow. It's probably going to be a mob scene. It's going to be based on the on-view testing thing. So you're going to have some hardware requirements. You're going to have a webcam. You're going to have a microphone. You're going to have a fairly good internet connection, not a great one, but a good one. You have to be running Windows 8.1 or 10 or Mac. So if you got a Linux box, sorry, it's not going to work for you. We don't have a lot of details on the interface or how that's going to work, but we are very excited about it. And again, I guarantee you, come back tomorrow because that's going to be the hot topic here as we're going to talk about our experiences on the online testing and how it went for us. Oh, man, we've only got a few minutes left. Debbie Strouch, I'm scheduled to take both the exams on the 27th. When I paid for the exams, I had a voucher that gave... Wow, nice. Good deal, Debbie. That's a great discount. Star Wars or Star Trek? Come on. Well, Star Wars, if you let me start at episode 4. Otherwise, it's Star Trek. It's kind of like The Matrix, you know? The Matrix movie was so good, it's too bad they never made any sequels to it, right? All right, Diego, I'm going to look up Kahoot just on what you're saying there. Is there a mandatory time frame between taking the 1001 and 1002? No. Not that no, there's not. You have to take them while they're both within the, before they comes out with the 2001, 2002, right? But no. Bye, Anthony. Tolowit, I'm sure you probably could take the exam in your underwear. Just make sure they're clean, okay? Yeah, no Linux. Okay. Yeah, pajama-based testing, Dave Rush. That's absolutely true. All right, Neil Garrett, man. I loved your music back in the 70s. All right. All right, guys, so it looks like we're going to be wrapping it up. We started a little early, so I guess we're going to finish a little on the early side today. Be ready for tomorrow. I guarantee we're going to be talking about the online testing is going to be a big thing. The other thing that we're probably going to do some more coverage. I know people are going to be practicing with some of the cool tools for smart devices, and this is an opportunity to talk about that. I'd be very interested to hear if people come up with other tools that they like. There's something like, I don't know, 500,000 different apps on the Android Play Store now, something ridiculous like that. And so let's keep that in mind. Also keep in mind that we're going to be preparing, so Friday will be giveaways. And the last thing I want to say before we take off is remember that just because you were nice enough to come here today, we are giving everything, not everything, our practice questions and our simulations on the CompTIA website, the Total Seminars website. I am not speaking good today. If you look down a link below here and type in the MM code right here, and that will give you 50% off of our practice questions and of our simulations. So that could be a really great deal for you guys. And of course, if you're an actual instructor teaching an active class right now, we're basically giving it all away for free. Contact Kathy Yale from my office. And until then, guys, a couple of you guys owe me some emails, and TS needs to email me. You got my email address there. Everything's great. And until then, I will see you guys mañana. Hasta.